What's up, bro?
Not much.
Man, me and Ethan just cut a podcast in here prior to even doing the podcast. We got started a little late tonight. Got here a little late, and man, we was putting together a list of things to talk about, and we talked about them all. So now we got to pretend to talk about them again. So, man, crazy time still in the world. We don't have our mask on because we're sitting 6 feet apart, and actually we're in North Georgia. We're not in Chattanooga. So this might be Chat with Gunner, but we're doing this out of Terminal 57 in North Georgia, so there is no mask mandate here. Thank God. I have to wear a mask when I take Marcus to school. I have to wear a mask when I pick Marcus up from school. And I have to wear a mask when I walk inside the hallway to sign in to the sports barn in the morning when I'm going to the sauna. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know why it's ridiculous? Because as soon as I scan in to the little keyless thing where you scan in at the front desk, as soon as you sign in, I take my mask off. The first day I went there, I told them I had asthma because that was on the list of things you can get away with. And then they kind of didn't buy that anymore. So they said that you have to have a mask on to do it. So I started playing ball, wearing the mask. And one day, I didn't take Marcus to school. Tia was taking Marcus to school. And I forgot my mask because we only have one mask at the house. And she had to have it to go drop him off. So I'm walking in. It's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm barely awake, just trying to go in and get my sauna in because that's the reason why I go to the sports barn. Got my own gym at home, so I'm just going to get my sauna in. And the guy at the front desk goes, "Excuse me," and I didn't pretend like, or I pretended like I didn't hear him. So I just kept walking. That was rude. I knew, but I knew what was coming. So I had my headphones in, just kept on walking. Go to the locker room, get in the sauna, 30 minutes, 180 degrees, feeling great. Listen to some personal development books. We'll go into that in a minute. But then, as I'm walking out, he got a little snippy with me. Got a little attitude with me over these masks. And I think a lot of people out there getting a little snippy with some people, getting a little attitudes with some people, being rude to some people that don't want to wear masks. I think that these people need to do a little bit of research for themselves and do a little thinking for themselves. And it's kind of, I mean, here's my position on the mask. Now that it is like, I guess, a law, right? I mean, they're pretty much trying to say that it's a law. You can get fined. You can do jail time. Even though David Roddy or Chief Roddy with the Chattanooga Police Department says, any calls coming to 911 about mask, he's pushing to the health department, and that his officers aren't going to be responding to mask calls, and that no one's going to be, put into prison for mask, right? Even though I'm hearing that, still, there comes a respect factor, and that respect factor is in the businesses that you support on a daily basis. So if you've got to go get groceries for your family, and you don't feel like driving out into a county where you can walk in and not have to wear a mask, or something that's convenient for you 5 minutes down the road, whether it's a Walmart or a Target or a Sam's Club. We go to Sam's Club, whatever it might be, and they require you to wear a mask to come in and to get groceries for your family, to provide for them, right? Play ball. That's where I'm at right now. Play ball. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to have a smile on your face. You know why? Because nobody can see it, right? You can be in the most pissed off mode, most pissed off face. You can be cussing people, under your mask, and nobody knows. You don't have to brush your teeth anymore. Nobody's gonna be smelling your breath. So there's some positives to it. If you want to look at it that way. But then, on the other hand, there's these small businesses that don't get to stay open unless you wear a mask. And what we're kind of seeing across the country, not just in liberal cities or democratic cities or liberal states or democratic states, we're starting to see kind of countrywide that this mask mandate is the direction that they're trying to get us to go in order to open the country up, right? I've got a bunch of buddies that own small businesses, and I feel bad for them guys. I'm going to do an example right here. My buddy Brady Pierce. So Brady Pierce owns a gym in South Carolina, I believe. I'm not exactly sure of the city. I want to get Brady on the show to talk about it, but he opened up a gym, less than 2 years ago, doing great, loving what he's doing, living his passion. And, this mask mandate and these shutdowns and lockdowns, they're hurting a guy like him. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming they're hurting a guy like him. I saw him voicing his concern on Facebook in a thread the other day. And his whole thing was, listen, man, whether you want to or don't want to, if you want the country to keep moving and the economy to keep going up and for businesses to stay open and for small businesses to survive, wear the mask. And I get it. And that puts it into perspective a little bit. But also at the same time, I just hate being told what to do, especially like when it hasn't been an issue for the first 29 years of my life. And like the exceptions, right? Kids under 12, if you have asthma, if you have COPD, if you can't hear, if you have a gun carry permit, like all these exceptions to the rule, right? It's just, it doesn't make much sense, but I guess, if you got to play ball, you got to play ball. So, if you want everything to open up, I guess listen, worst case scenario, get a mask and put it in your back pocket. If you absolutely have to wear it for a few minutes, put it on, take it off. If you want to bitch about it, go home, bitch about it. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm in the do it, go home, bitch about it phase. I don't really go anywhere where I have to wear one outside of taking Marcus to school, picking Marcus up, and when I'm walking inside the gym. That's it. I don't really do anything else. If we want to get something, we order it. That's about it. Which, speaking of ordering, my food. Nutrition Solutions, yet again. Listen, guys, and if you didn't listen to the podcast a couple weeks ago, go back, listen to that podcast, because we are now 2 weeks from that podcast. I am in week 6 of Nutrition Solutions, and I'm continuing to lose weight. This is not an advertisement for Nutrition Solutions. This is a fact. This is real life. This is real life from a guy that's been doing this for a while. I wake up in better shape than I fall asleep. I do not know what to tell you. Is it expensive? Yes, sir. Is it worth it? Yes, sir. So if you have the means, if you can come up with it, and if your health and your body and the foundation, your anchor of everything that makes you tick is important to you, I suggest that you do this, man. The 7-day shred. I'm not gonna lie, the food last week was a little sketchy. Not because it wasn't good. I ate it all, and it was fine. It just wasn't like my favorite dishes, right? But this week it's back on point. So out of the 6 weeks I've been doing it, 5 of the weeks have been absolutely 5 stars, and I would say week 5 was 4 stars. So I mean, still really good. Really good. I got the lemon berry clean cheats this week, and it had honey toasted. What's it called? Honey toasted cereal? Is that the
Honey Bunch of Oats?
No, like the
Cheerios?
Not Cheerios. The Honey Toast Crunch. What is it?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
It's like lemon berry with cinnamon toast crunch on top of it.
That actually sounds amazing.
It is incredible. They've had a Fruity Pebbles one.
Ooh.
They've had that one. Both of those were lemon berries. Might be my favorite. You know the Swiss cake rolls? Not Swiss cake rolls, but the little chocolate cupcakes.
The swirls?
It has the cream on the inside. It's chocolate on the outside with a little bitty white swirl on top. It's a Little Debbie.
Yeah.
They make one of those, and it's called the Little Deb. Oh my God, it is so good, and like the inside's like creamy as well. So man, Nutrition Solutions, get that. Your boy woke up Wednesday morning after the sauna. Wednesday morning I did cardio first. Wednesday morning I woke up and did 40 minutes of cardio on the elliptical, right? Weighed 207 after that was over. Your boy is eating 6 to 7 times a day. Here's the schedule. I wake up, I drink a 40-gram protein shake. If I'm doing a cardio, I drink that right after I do cardio. As soon as I get to work, I'm eating my first meal, which is a protein waffle or a protein bar, which is like a cake from Nutrition Solutions. 3 hours later, I eat my second meal, which is whatever it might be for the day. It's a variety of things each week. 3 hours later, I eat another meal. Both those meals take place at work. So I'm eating 3 times at work. As soon as I get home, I'm eating another meal. And then I do whatever I need to do for the next few hours. And then at about 8 or 9 o'clock, I eat a clean sheet. And before I go to bed, I drink a protein shake. And I'm losing weight. So I don't know what to tell you. Your boy's fasted for 3 days in a row, barely lost weight. Your boy's eating 9 times a day. Now I'm just dropping weight, and I'm getting more abs than I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm happy about it. I feel a little bit weird being this light right now. I'm not going to lie to you. But also, feel great. Feel fantastic. Some of my clothes are starting to not fit, but other than that, that's the only problem I seem to have. Yeah, man, having a great time. Jumping into personal development. Still knocking those books out. Guys, if you're not reading, if you're not listening, if you're not watching these personal development, motivational, inspirational type books and flooding, I keep using that word all over social media, keep flooding your mind with positivity and with tools to make you successful in what it is that you want to do, start now. Start right now. Find you a podcast that you can get behind. Find you a book that you can read. Highlight in the book the good things. Find you an audio book that you can listen to with a narrator's voice that soothes your mind. Find you a YouTube motivational compilation of a bunch of people that's saying good things. Whatever it is that gets you going, find that thing and do that as soon as you wake up. That's going to get your mindset in the right place. That's going to get you thinking the right things, and you're going to be able to take that with you throughout the day. You're going to be able to apply some of these things. So do that. Right now I'm listening to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I'm also listening to Donald Trump, The Art of the Deal, 1987, Donald Trump. Listen to him at the exact same time. So I wake up, I listen to 7 Habits, and when I'm driving, I listen to Trump. So I'm actually knocking them out at the same time. One was 15 hours, one was 12 hours. I've actually got them to the same hour right now. I got 8 hours left on both, so that should be done by the beginning of next week. And then it brings me to my next topic, which is something that we might dive deep into right here because Ethan knows a little bit more than me. I don't know if any of you guys have Disney Plus, but if you don't have Disney Plus and you have Verizon, you've got it for free. You just don't know about it. So do that. If not, you need to purchase it because for a limited time only, I don't know how long it's going to be out, but for a limited time only, you can go to Disney Plus and you can watch the musical. That's right. You heard the people's captain, Gunner Miller, Mr. Manly Man over here. A musical called Hamilton. And wow. Bro, so Ethan texted me like 3 times a couple weeks ago, and he's like, hey, bro, I know you don't like musicals, or you probably don't like musicals. You need to watch Hamilton. I didn't even respond. And then, like, Facebook Messenger, he's like, hey, man, I don't know if you checked out Hamilton or not. You should check it out. It's pretty good. And then when I come into the podcast studio, he's like, hey, man, did you get a chance to watch Hamilton? And I just ignored him. So I was like, you know what? Ethan told me a long time ago to watch a zombie movie in Japanese. And I watched it, and it was incredible. It was a full movie in Japanese, so I had to read subtitles. So that was great, and this movie was also fantastic. So if you haven't seen Hamilton the musical, you need to watch it. Ethan, it's incredible. It's good stuff, man.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to go that far.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'll give you more credit than Sting and them do. You definitely, when you do say something, you usually are pretty intelligent and pretty knowledgeable about it. So
I try to be.
Yeah, man. Hamilton was great. I knew nothing. Not that I didn't know anything about the story. I knew a little bit. Graduate high school, right? So
barely.
Yeah, got out of there. But took some of those classes in college as well. I did enjoy history in college, so that was kind of one of the. I like motivational stories. Obviously, I talk about it a lot, and you can get that out of history if you kind of dive deep into it. This musical though was mind blowing. It really brought the story out in a little bit of a different, entertaining, a little bit of its own twist on it. But what was the guy's name that created it?
Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
I believe, if I'm
and
he
played Hamilton.
He's the Hamilton that you see if you look up like any video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Broadway, the original cast is no longer doing it, but the original cast is who is doing the Disney Plus version.
Gotcha.
So you were getting the perfect, as far as, you know, he as a creator picked these people to be in his Broadway performance, and he's Hamilton. He knows the character in and out. And besides, you know, and not doing it for X amount of years now, him doing it again, it's still going to be the pinnacle expression of what this show is supposed to be.
Yeah.
This show is super, super good. Again, for historical context, it's great. It teaches you a little bit more maybe about somebody that doesn't really get a lot of wordplay in America,
no, you're right.
Other than being on the $10 bill, but who carries around tens?
Dude, I don't know if I can tell you the last time I had a $10 bill.
Exactly. And he's I would not say he's as important as, say, the people that are on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
But he did create the Treasury. Like, he created the national debt, or not the national debt, but he created a way for our country to pay off its debt.
Right.
Well, I mean, look where we are now. But
way to go, Hamilton.
But just like with everything else from the time period, founding fathers, he is a founding father.
He's one of the seven for sure.
He's definitely one of the seven, and he's one of the ones that put something in place that could have, given X amount of time, fixed itself, righted itself, and created a great country. We have a great country, just not as great as it could have been.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to make America great again, okay?
Yeah,
and
we've got to get there.
And we got to keep America great. Okay?
Oh yeah.
But the problem is that we got a lot of snowflakes out there, and a lot of people will get their feelings hurt real quick, right?
What I find interesting though is a lot of the snowflakes love this show.
And I don't. Okay, that confuses me. You know why? Because you said this too earlier. When you watch like the first act or like the first, what is it, before intermission?
Yeah, before the intermission. And to be fair, if you're gonna go watch this, set aside at least like an hour and a half, and then prepare to do that a second time.
Yeah.
Because this is a Broadway show.
Yeah,
it's a shorter Broadway show. It's not like Phantom of the Opera or Les Mis, but it is very long.
Man, okay, yeah, so I guess that's what kind of turned me off originally when you asked me, because I just clicked on the thing and it told me that it was going to be 3 hours, and I was like, hey, bro, I'm not trying to watch the Titanic right now,
Fair
especially
enough.
with people doing it live action, right, and singing to me the entire time. So,
yeah.
But Tia was, I think, when did I watch? I watched over the weekend, I believe, so she was kind of resting, she's kind of getting some sleep, catching up, and she's like, let's watch something, so I put it on Hamilton, so she immediately went to sleep. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I was like, I wonder how long I can make it through this musical. And then I was like, I wonder if since it's called a musical, if the entire thing is in music.
See, regular musicals, not always.
Okay.
It just depends. Kind of like, Disney movies. There's not a song every single minute. But in this, it is. But I think that heightens how good it is.
Yeah.
It's all memorable.
It is all, for sure. Some of the songs are great, and like I've went back and listened to them. The George Washington song, that song is fire,
Dude.
bro. That song is
so
incredible. Yeah, that's great. That gave me like cold chills when like goosebumps when old George Washington came out there.
Oh, yeah,
I got fired up, bro.
And I
And
think
he was black. Get out of here, bro. I was all about that.
I honestly, like, I think it's a testament to like culture now, and like, people say the country's divided, but I think like the fact that we all really enjoy this show, and the fact that it is, Lin-Manuel came out really early and said, I wanted to cast the show not as accurate as it was for the time period. I wanted to tell an American story then with Americans now.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And sure, there's not as many. There's one white guy, and he's definitely the bad guy.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't matter. Like, it literally does not matter who.
He does a great job playing King George. King
George III is probably the best part of the musical. And I'm gonna be honest with you. He has he interjects 3 times.
Right.
I'd only ever heard the first one.
Oh, really?
So hearing the second 2 make it so much better. It's
That's
so
cool.
funny. But yeah, like the fact that I think a lot of people at first are like turned off, like, oh, why are they opposite of whitewashing, blackwashing, history? Like they're trying to put in propaganda into our kids.
But
No, it doesn't matter. Honestly, these people are really good with their voice.
dude, okay, listen.
So like,
Yeah, here's the thing. Voice actors right now. You're about rant number 1.
oh yeah,
Voice or 2 or 3 or whatever I'm
whatever
on already.
it is.
Voice actors right now are having to give up acting positions or voice positions because they are white and they're acting as if they're black in a cartoon.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Listen, I'm not racist. And I know when everybody says, when you say you're not racist, that always
That
comes
always
with some
says you're racist. Come on
racist statement
now.
right after it. Bro, it can't be farther from the truth. Ask all my buddies. Like, man, I grew up in a athletic background, and I went on to play college football. So for guys and girls that didn't play a collegiate sport or didn't play a high school sport or wasn't in some type of a group, like a locker room type aspect, or wasn't in the army, or just hasn't had that like background of being with peers with several different ethnic backgrounds, man, dude, nothing bothers me. I've heard it all. I've joked about it all. I've joked about it with all my friends. They've all joked about things with me. And we just have thick skin. I think we have thicker skin because we've been in those environments than most people. And that might be the issue right now. Like people, their skin is just so thin. And they're just waiting to bleed. They're waiting for you to cut them with something so that they can say, ouch, you cut me and that hurts. And this is why it hurts, because even though you didn't actually cut me, you was trying to cut him over there and you tried to throw the knife at him. But the air from the knife kind of bristled my skin and it cut me a little bit too. So I'm going to take up for him by yelling at you because you shouldn't say that to that person. Even though that person over there probably doesn't even think it's that big of a deal. Probably never thought it was that big of a deal. But now that you're making it a big deal, they're going to jump on the bandwagon and say, well, maybe it is a big deal. Maybe I should be talking like that. And that's kind of where we're at now in America. That's how this happens. It takes, a million snowflakes to turn a country of 330 million people into a ridiculous place to live right now, where every other country in the world is looking at us laughing, going, oh, that's the superpower in America? Oh, they haven't figured out race yet, guys. They haven't figured out that white and black people can get along. They haven't figured out that like they're connected to Mexico and they can come over and hang out if they want to too. Oh, there's Canada's doing one hell of a job. I don't know how Canada is connected to the United States of America and handling everything so well. They don't let people in. If they do let you in, you get to go back out pretty soon. They slap you with a pop. They tell you to go on back home, have a nice trip, come back for vacation if you want to. Everyone's treated equal. Healthcare is pretty decent. But nope, just Big Brother right down the street. Can't figure it out. We're just trying to push and push and push and push, and now we're just pushing everybody away.
I think that's something that you, well, in the middle of that rant, I think the most like diverse populations of like sports, because let's be honest here, other than not even baseball anymore, but like any sport, college, high school, whatever it is, are a bunch of people, guys, girls, whatever, that are just a bunch of really accepting people. I have yet to ever find like a player in a sport that I played that was ever bigoted or like hateful in any way, other than some like ribbing that happens if you're in a bunch of guys around each other 24/7. You're gonna make jokes at each other at each other's expense. But yeah, I don't think any diverse group of people for long enough ever come out bigoted.
Dude, here's what I'll tell people. If you think that you've got issues and that people are attacking you, go sit in the sauna 180 degrees for an hour. And you'll quit thinking about everything. And the only thing you'll be thinking about is trying to figure out how to make it to the end of this sauna session after an hour. And when you get out of the sauna, you don't care about who's white, who's black, who's Mexican, who's German, who's Canadian, who's who's Hawaiian, who's American Samoan. You don't care who anybody is. You just treat people like people. You walk out, you can barely breathe, you can barely see, your eyes are blurry, and you're just like, hey, man, what's going on? And you just keep on walking, right? Like, people need to do more hard shit. I'm so tired of everybody just not doing anything. Like, listen, if you want to bitch about people not wearing a mask or people wearing masks, go run a marathon and then bitch about masks. That's where I'm at. You should have to earn the right to speak by being physical. That's 100% how I feel about it. And if not being physical, by doing something that like takes a lot of mental power, and not like thinking about how to ruin somebody's life because they're trying to protect their house by holding an M16 out because you jumped over their gated fence, broke down their gated community, and started yelling at them at their front door because Black Lives Matter. Well, of course Black Lives Matter. And I get the movement of Black Lives Matter, right? So Black Lives Matter is the movement of, of course all lives matter. And the people that say all lives matter are racist because we're just trying to make it known that, of course, all lives matter. But Black Lives Matter right now. We need to make this a point. We need to change this culture. Yeah, man, great point. But, like, at the same time, there's a way to go about that. And you can't say, well, we've been peaceful. And being peaceful doesn't work. Also get that. Great. But, like, at what point does just going to the other end of the spectrum also be productive? It doesn't. Like, there's a great conversation, Candace Owens, and there's a guy that's like strong Black Lives Matter activist, and then Candace Owens. Two black people that have a great conversation where they disagree the entire time, and they're friends. Why can't we all do that?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't care what group you promote, what group you want to protest with, how you want to protest, what you want to break, what taxes you want to get put on us for breaking shit, what mask you want to wear, what mask you don't want to wear. I don't care about any of these things. But what I do care about is being able to be nice to somebody when you're done. Because back in the day in politics, people were political. Yeah, there was Democrats or Republicans. There were liberals and there was conservatives. And guess what? They did that from 8 to 6 p.m. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That was their job. They all lived together. They all went to the same schools together. They all went to the same church together. Their families knew each other. Their wives knew each other. They all worked together. Like, they were all together all the time. And guess what? After that, they hung out together because, you know why? They were friends.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the same idea to do whatever is best for the country, but yet also try to get their thing in, try to get their point across. Like, now, it's either you're left or you're right. There is no in between. You're either right or you're wrong, and both sides are right and wrong depending on which side you're on. And if you're voting for Trump, you're racist and I hate you. He's an idiot. He's old. Why would you want him? He's losing his sense. And if you're voting for Biden, why would you want to vote for Biden? Because he's got dementia. He's old and he's losing his sense. And if you vote for Biden, you want to molest little kids. And if you vote for anybody else, well, why would you vote for them?
It's a waste of a vote.
They're not going to win. It's a waste of a vote. You're just throwing it away. And if you don't vote, your vote matters. You need to vote for someone. Why don't you stand up and vote for your country? Well, bro, who do you want me to vote for? Not Kanye.
I was about to say.
Bro, not Kanye. Like,
listen, I'm all down for the birthday party. I'm just not voting for it.
Man, I don't know what to tell these people, man. Like I can tell you who I'm voting for. 1,000,000,000% right now. I'm voting for Trump. What?
I was about to say The Rock.
No. Yeah, I'd vote for The Rock for sure.
It's a write-in.
But yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. And I'm going to vote for Trump based on this. This is why I'm voting for Trump. Primarily because I think he's entertaining. He's the most entertaining president we ever had. Reality star president. That's what people will say. He's a reality star president that shouldn't be allowed to be making decisions for us. Well, he's a failed businessman. Well, excuse me.
Listen, he's making a lot more money than I am.
If that's being a failed businessman, sign me up. I'm all day for that. He got all of his money given to him by his father.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what wealth is.
Pretty sure he made more with it.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't make as much as he could have if he was smart in some investments that you think he could have done better because you're Mr. Broke, Rich, Famous, because you're Mr. Broke, I could have done this better businessman, right? No. I think he made the decisions that he wanted to make to live the life that he wanted to live. And at the age of 70 years old, decided instead of retiring, I'm going to run the country. I don't have to do this. I'm going to run the country. And I'm going to do the best job I can possibly do for America, for the country that gave me the opportunity to take my father's wealth and to turn it into my wealth and to create generational wealth for my family so that they're all taken care of. And you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to run for president. I'm going to try to be a role model for other people like me, other entrepreneurs like me, the 400 million people that actually want to be entrepreneurs, and for them to be able to build generational wealth as well with my tax incentives, with my small business loans, with all these different things, right? That could be a thing. Or you could just think he's an old white racist, right? Because he's friends with, people that are also old white racist or all these different things. I don't know, man. I'm voting for Trump because people hate Trump. And I'm voting for Trump because, if we would have spent 4 years, think about this. If we'd have spent 4 years going, you know what? Well, Trump's a president. I didn't expect that, and
Nobody
I don't appreciate it. I feel like my vote didn't matter. He lost the popular vote, but he won the electorals. But he won. He wasn't supposed to win. He's a reality star president, right? And instead of taking that attitude and going, well, how do we get him out? He said he wants to drain the swamp. What's that mean? How do we get him out? Let's get him out of here.
Let's get him out of here before he drains us out of the swamp.
Yeah. If we would have, go back 4 years, if we would have taken our mindset and shifted it from negative to completely positive and said, you know what? Make America great again. America's already great, but sure, let's make it a little bit better. Let's all get behind our president for the first time in history. Let's get behind our president and let's do whatever it is to make our country great, to be the greatest superpower in history, right? Let's just get behind him and let's do it. But we can't, right? We can't do that because, there's media out there and there's no news story if we do that. Oh, America rallies together and supports the president. That doesn't get any views, right?
And we're back.
We had a little cut off there, so sorry.
That's the
about
first
that.
time it's happened.
Yes, but it's
Wow.
been a few good weeks. So I don't even know where I was. And if I lose my train of thought right there, I'm sorry. But pretty much we were talking out there about masks. Yeah, man. So everything's political, and we were talking about how you don't actually have to be political to actually have to talk about political things every day because everything you do is a political view now, a political standpoint. So, for example, let's say Ethan is working and Ethan has to wear a mask.
Of course, because I work around food and I work with people all day.
Yep. Ethan doesn't care to wear a mask. You know why? Because he has to.
Yeah, I have to. Even when we weren't mandated, because I do work in Hamilton County.
Yeah.
Even when we weren't mandated, guess what? We all wore a mask.
Right.
And guess why? Because our owner's son, who has Down syndrome, has health problems.
Correct.
And guess what? If he got corona, he'd probably make it.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
But we don't want to do that to him.
Right.
He doesn't know. He doesn't get it.
Yeah.
He just knows that there are germs, and germs are gross.
Right. And that's a good way to look at it. More people should look at it that way.
Exactly.
Actually.
And you know what? And this is something that I've thought about more and more as we get into the mask thing. You ever see those pictures of India, Japan, China, metropolitan areas in Asia? Guess what they're all wearing?
Mask.
N95 masks. One, because of smog, because there's just so many people.
Right.
But two, because there's so many people, there are germs everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't pour enough bleach on anything to get rid of those.
Right.
And guess what? They all wore them. And guess what? None of them cared.
Yeah.
They all did it for themselves. They all did it because, yeah, I'm probably going to get sick. And the ones that didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
That's the biggest thing. Listen, if Ethan wants to wear a mask, whether he has to or doesn't have to, Ethan should be able to wear a mask whether he wants to or doesn't want to. If Gunner doesn't want to wear a mask, if he doesn't want to, Gunner should be able to not wear a mask if he does not want to.
Well, he shouldn't because it would make him look stupid with a beard.
Who you telling, bro? My beard goes everywhere over that mask. Between that and my glasses, it just fogs up. I can't see anything. So
that's the worst part of my mind.
The biggest issue I have on this whole mask deal is the people that make such a big deal about what decision you make as an individual about what you are going to do in your life when it comes to regarding wearing a damn mask. It's like a seatbelt. You gotta wear that or you get a ticket. Also, valid point.
Very valid. Actually, that's probably the best analogy.
Yeah, valid point. Listen, click it or ticket, it is actually proven. There is proven statistics. Decade after decade after decade of being in an automobile, whether it be by Ford or Chevy or GMC or Kia or Mercedes or BMW or Lamborghini or Ferrari. I can do this all day. If you wear your seatbelt and you have a car crash, it gives you a better chance of not dying. It gives you a better chance of not dying. It does not give the person you hit head on going 90 miles per hour a better chance of not dying unless they were also wearing a seatbelt. But that decision should not be up to you, right? You shouldn't say, well, that person wouldn't have died if I hit them if they were wearing their seatbelt. That's where I get to on mask. People are saying, well, if you're not wearing a mask, you're trying to kill me. Wait a minute, bro. Let's do a little checklist real quick. Let's talk about the immune system. We want to dive deep into this and have an argument with me. Let's talk about the immune system. How much vitamin D are you? This is from all my mask wearers out there telling me I'm trying to kill people if I don't wear a mask. How much vitamin D are you taking a day, bro? Huh? Oh, you can't answer that question? Oh, we'll go to the next one. How much water are you drinking a day, bro? Oh, well, you don't answer that? Okay. How many times you have fast food this week, bro? Oh, okay. How much sugar are you eating a day? How much sugar are you drinking a day, bro? All right. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Are we exercising? Are we in the sauna? Are we taking care of ourselves? Or are we smoking cigarettes? Are we drinking alcohol? Are we doing drugs? Not just the good drugs, but the prescription drugs? Wait, if we're doing these things, okay, if you can check any of those boxes and you don't know what's happening, you best not come at me and tell me to wear a mask, because I'm checking all those boxes in the right categories. Well, how much vitamin D you taking, Gunner? Well, actually, I take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D via supplement. I also get some with a little bit of food, and I go outside and get 30 minutes of sun every day when I walk. Next question. Well, how much water are you drinking, Gunner? A minimum of a gallon of water a day. Next question. Oh, I'm sorry. Gunner, are you exercising? Yeah, I work out twice a day, and I do the sauna once, 30 minutes, 180 degrees. That kills all germs. Are you taking? Yeah, I'm taking a multivitamin. I get over 1,000% of my daily requirements of every vitamin, mineral that I need. Oh, okay. Well, are you smoking cigarettes, Gunner? No, I don't smoke cigarettes. Are you drinking? No, I don't drink. Are you doing drugs? Nope. Oh. Well, will you please wear your mask, because I think that you might get coronavirus and might kill me, bro. I ain't got time for this. I just ain't got time for it. Like that's where we're at now in this whole thought process, and I don't have time for it. Like, there's got to be. We can't just say put a mask on, and that's gonna fix everything. You can't do that. Sure, it might help if you're in a very crowded environment. Wear a mask at this point in time. Kind of makes sense. If you do not want to get it, if you're dealing with food, or if you're in a retail store, or if you're doing anything to where you might be touching something that somebody might be buying from you, wear gloves, wear a mask, hand sanitizer, wash your hands, do the right things. We should be doing that anyways. Maybe not wearing masks, but we should be washing our hands and taking showers and using proper hygiene and not being disgusting when we're dealing with people and serving people. That's just respectfulness. That's not like trying to save lives. That's just being respectful. It's being human to another human. But yeah, man, crazy times. Bunch of rants. Crazy times.
Hamilton's good.
Hamilton was great. If you haven't watched the show Yellowstone like Ethan, you're truly missing out. Kevin Costner is one hell of an actor. Love him. It's on season 3. We just watched episode 4 this week. We watched it on Wednesdays. because of Tia's schedule. So we just caught up on it last night. Fantastic. I won't do any spoilers, but it's great. If you're not watching Yellowstone, God, man, such a good show. I'd say top 10 show of all time. Yeah, it's on up there.
What's number one?
I can't even. I won't even go there. I won't even go there. That's too much of a day. We had to have a whole podcast on that. UFC 251 was last weekend. That was a good time. Kamaru Usman put it to George Masvidal. After the first round, I was excited because I thought Masvidal was going to get him, but Usman, man, it was a boring fight, but it was a very well executed game plan, man. He has beat like 7 of the top 10 welterweights right now. You cannot deny that Kamaru Usman is not one of the best welterweights of all time. Hey, he's not the most exciting welterweight, but man, when it comes to winning, dude's a beast. I thought Peter Yan, you look good, knocking out Jose Aldo. I think Jose Aldo is a shell of himself, but Peter Yan, man, he looks good. Rose Namajunas, she looked good. That was a great fight, though. That could have been fight of the night. That was a good fight. I wish that fight was 5 rounds. It could have been a different outcome if it was 5 rounds. Andrade coming back strong towards the end. What was the other? Max Holloway and Volkanovski. Holloway got robbed. I don't care what anyone says. He knocked him down 3 times within the fight and got beat. Doesn't even make sense. I don't even want to talk about it. Max Holloway won that fight. I thought the first one was close. I thought Volkanovski did enough to win. But, man, that second fight, Holloway should have won. We should get a trilogy fight off that for sure. And what else is in there? Oh, and then Paige Van Zandt and Amanda Ribas. Everyone saw that coming. I knew that was going to be a first-round finish. Just didn't know if it was going to be on the feet or on the ground. So, all right, man. Well, I had a blast getting up here, ranting and raving, talking. Me and Ethan had better conversations off air than we did have on air, so we'll try to keep that to a minimum next time and have those conversations on the air. Next week, man, I have completely misplaced this guy's name. But we have a guest coming on next week for Chat with Gunner episode 30. He's a friend of Alan Stein Jr. He reached out to us to come onto the show. He is the CEO of Pro Basketball Combine. He has written 2 best-selling books, and he's traveling around as a life coach, business coach, personal development type guy, motivator. And you know what? We'll put out some stuff on him this week to get everybody ready to listen to him. I'm excited. I don't know much about him other than that. I'm excited to pick his brain, hear his story, and to have a great conversation with him. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming on the show. Remember, go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell notification, share everything. Most importantly, go to Apple Podcasts, go to the review section, leave a 5-star review, say this is the best podcast in Chattanooga. Go over to Spotify, click on the link, give us a watch. The watches are on an uptick right now as far as all the podcast platforms. YouTube is doing what it's doing. If it takes off one day, it takes off. If it doesn't, I don't really care. The Apple Podcast, though, is really doing well. So keep it going, guys. I appreciate you guys listening. If you have any topics you want to cover, let me know. Sorry, this was more of a ranting episode, but sometimes you got to have those. All right, guys. Have a great night. Bye.